Day 3 of Roland-Garros is in full swing. By the end of the day, round 1 will hopefully be complete and the weather has almost behaved itself. Welcome to Live at Roland-Garros. It's your daily dose of action and reaction. And here for you is what's coming up on tonight's show. Novak Djokovic off to the perfect start. Rome finalist Karolina Pliskova back to winning ways. And Roland-Garros highlights the global nature of tennis. We are going to be with you every night from 7 o'clock. And this evening, I am joined by one half of the mixed doubles champions from Roland-Garros 2005. Danielle Hansen, thank you for being here.
Well, what happened to Fabrice? He said he liked us, right? And
I thought it was going well. The first two shows seemed to go well.
Where did it go wrong? What did we say?
Sure. I don't know. I actually believe he is working on the match that's
on
Philippe. I am told that he's working on the Shapovalov Simon match, so we're going to have to take. So we are Fabrice-less for this evening.
Yeah,
we're going to be okay.
Sad.
It is sad,
well.
But we've got plenty to keep us entertained. 56 matches in total. It's to complete round 1. I woke up this morning, I thought there will be no rain. We've had a few pockets of rain, but having the floodlights makes such a difference.
Yeah, it does, because there is no rush on the players, and you know they can just take their time, and they know they will be finishing their matches, most of them. So it's just he had such a huge addition to Roland-Garros, and I think all the players really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, they absolutely do. I think we finished at 8 minutes past midnight last night, so we'll see what happens this evening. Now, when we were thinking of the moment of the day, it almost doubled up as a moment and a shot of the day. As soon as we saw it, it was an immediate, wasn't it? It was in unison. Everybody in the office said, well, that's surely it.
Yeah, absolutely so, because, you know, being able to do that against one of the best movers in the world and #1 in the world, for Ymer, this is going to be a shot that he will always remember, and also being able to do that on the center court, even though it's not a full house, they still got to feel good. And finally, that's probably the most noise we've seen in the last couple of weeks and months, and also seeing the reaction from Novak and the appreciation for that shot, that's got to feel really special.
You've lost a set 6-love. I know it's to the world #1. It is on serve early stage of the second, and then you pull that out on a court like Philippe Chatrier, and you get the round of applause from Novak Djokovic.
Yeah, it doesn't get better than that. And sometimes, you know, those moments can actually help you to really feel a little bit more confident, because in the first set, I felt like he was a little bit overwhelmed by Novak. And then when you can come up with the shots like that, you start to suddenly feel like, hey, I can maybe get a few more games of Novak. And that's what happened then.
And if you don't know the result, you'll find out how many more games he got, Mikael Ymer, a little bit later, because that is our match of the day. It took place on Philippe Chatrier, where we're heading now to say good evening to Eli. How are you, Eli?
Good evening, good evening. I'm good, thank you. I'm better than Gilles Simon right now versus Denis Shapovalov, but Gilles Simon coming back. He's down 6-2, but he's up 3-love in the second set, only one break. But this is a generation battle going on court Philippe Chatrier between the 35-year-old Frenchman and the 21-year-old Canadian. The Canadian who is in good form. He's made the finals in Rome. He broke the top 10 for a week. He's definitely a tough player, but Gilles Simon, very experienced. He's played here many, many times, and he's going to try and take pace off the ball as much as he can, slow things down. The conditions are playing to his favor and not to Shapovalov's favor, but it's just beautiful to watch. And for the real tennis fans who love to see beautiful tennis, the backhand of Denis Shapovalov is just a delight.
And Eli, something we were talking about in the office with Daniela, something that is new for Shapovalov, is he meditates. He takes some times at the change of ends, because he is so full of energy, but it's very different how he treats the change of ends.
Yeah, absolutely. Every single change of ends, he sits down, shuts his eyes, and for 30 to 40 seconds just stays eyes closed, controlling his heart rate. I think that's what he's doing, breathing and controlling the heart rate at the same time, basically chilling out, chilling down, cooling it down, and then boom, back to the battle. So yeah, it's very interesting.
But you can't chill out or calm down, because you've got some moves to be making around this site this evening. So on to your next venue. And Daniela, it was something you said, it's nice to see players being quite open about things like meditation that for so long weren't really talked about.
Yeah, exactly. It's been around for many years, and most of the players, I'm sure, are using different techniques, whether it's meditation, visualization, and we've seen Vika Azarenka doing the same thing the last couple of weeks. And it's just really cool to see the players, you know, being more open about it. And I think for first time I really heard someone saying how beneficial it's been for their game. It's been Bianca Andreescu when she won the US Open. And, you know, we always talk about the mental strength and being in the present moment. And that's exactly what the players are doing and using the changeovers in the right way. And I have to say, it's so cool to see someone like Dennis doing that, where in the past we saw him, you know, rapping on the court and just it just felt like his mind was all over the place. And you can see right away with his results how good it has been for his tennis, and I'm sure it's the case for many athletes out there.
Andreescu visualized the winner's check for the US Open, and 2 weeks later she was holding the winner's check.
Yeah, well, that's how powerful our mind is, and it's really how they say, be careful what you wish for, because, you know, we are in charge of our destiny, and I'm a strong believer in meditation as well. It has helped me to get through many moments in my life, and yeah, I would recommend it to everyone big time.
And someone else who believes in it, has been a very important part of his career, features in our match of the day. It's world number 1 Novak Djokovic. You saw a point of the match with Mikael Ymer, because it was our moment and it was our shot of the day. But following on his victory in Rome, a lot of talk now about Novak Djokovic being the one to beat in this tournament.
Oh, absolutely so. And not only in this tournament, Gigi, but I feel like for the rest of the season. I just feel like, with all my respect to all the other players, he's just on another level, especially with his movement and his confidence levels. And today was one of those days where mentally he was just not giving anything away. He was super focused in between the points and couldn't really ask for a better start to a slam, because he really saved a lot of energy physically and mentally and got the job done, you know, in a really short time. And he's got to be really pleased with that.
That could be very important, getting the job done in a short amount of time. People talking about how the courts are playing slowly. You can be out there for hours and hours. You don't want to grind your way through 7 matches. So probably just what he needed.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever you have a day like this, when everything's clicking, you try to finish it up as soon as possible, and just to save that energy for days when you might not be feeling 100% and you might be struggling. Your opponent might be playing their best tennis. So it's good to have that always in your pocket and have that extra energy, especially given how difficult the conditions are this year.
And I think it is worth mentioning New York once more, because yes, he's since won the title in Rome, but the way he has regrouped, the way he will talk about it, how he has reset himself to come out and play as he is doing, is testament to the man.
Absolutely so, Gigi, and it just shows his mental toughness. And it was really great to see in the press conference when he talked about it, like, look, I'm a human as well, and I have forgiven myself for it. And it's incredible how fast he's been able to move on, put it behind, and really come up with that win in Rome. That couldn't have been a better answer to everything from New York. And it just shows his mental toughness and how much he has grown as a person in the last couple of years. So a lot of credit to Novak.
32 winners in total in this victory. He converted 9 of 11 break points. He is 16-0 in first rounds at Roland-Garros, the 2016 champion. He is here to win it, and he's made a statement in this first round by saying, I am the world number 1. This is what I want. It was a very clean performance from Novak Djokovic. But he was asked about one shot in particular in his post-match encore interview that we saw rather a lot of throughout the course of the match.
Je pense qu'Amorti sera très importante cette année, parce que le cours est trop lourd, trop lent. Et je pense que c'est bon de voir cette variation dans le jeu tactiquement, mais peut-être j'ai joué aujourd'hui trop d'amorti.
He attempted 25 drop shots today, Daniela.
Well, it's a shot that a lot of the players are going to use here anyways, because of those conditions, and the ball just doesn't go too far. So I think he's not the only one that might overuse it a little bit. But we've seen that also in Rome, couple of matches. I felt like I wouldn't say overused it, because when he hits it well, I mean, no one hits it any better. And it's how short he's able to do that from any position of the court. And, you know, why not to use that when he's been so successful with it? I'm actually a little bit sad that Fabrice is not here, because I think the number 2 of using the drop shots as much as he can was definitely Fabrice. So it's really cool to see these guys that have that special touch to be able to come up with shots like that.
And I don't think I've ever said shot as much as I have in the last 3 days. It is only day 3 of Roland-Garros. Now, a young man who is in trouble is the 5th seed, Stefanos Tsitsipas. He's playing Jaume Munar. We know that Munar loves the clay, but Munar hasn't had the results to speak of this year. Tsitsipas has been wobbling, and Daniela, he has now got to come from 2 sets of love down if he's to make the second round of Roland-Garros.
Gigi, honestly, I'm not really surprised about that with everything that's been going on mentally for Stefanos ever since that match in New York where he started to scream and shout at his father, and also in Rome. Mentally, he's just not there. So it's one of those times where he really needs some time kind of away. It's strange to say it because we had so much time away from tennis during the lockdown, and really rethink, maybe add another person with a new, fresh voice into his team that might be saying the same things just like his father does. And obviously, his dad has done so much for him, so he always needs to be around, but maybe just add someone that's going to bring the freshness to his game mentally and tactically as well. And, you know, he's such a great player and has got so much quality in his game. It's just a matter of time when he's going to get back on track.
We're going to keep an eye on that one. Let's run through some of the other matches from today, starting with the 2nd seed, Karolina Pliskova. Now, she was up against a young lady, the first Egyptian woman to appear in a Grand Slam main draw.
Yeah, it was a great performance, I thought, from Sharif, given, you know, it was the first time she was playing someone of Pliskova caliber on center court. So she handled that situation, the first set, much better than Karolina. You know, she had those 7-8 set points, couldn't really convert them. And it was the thing that always amazes me. No matter how badly she's playing and how much she's losing, she never seems to be, you know, mentally and emotionally bothered, Pliskova, just because of her incredible attitude.
I know, she does look so relaxed and laid back.
But that's sometimes only on the outside, because inside she always tells me, look, Dani, I'm so nervous and I'm just emotional just like everyone else.
Someone else who looks pretty relaxed is Matteo Berrettini. And as soon as you saw this scoreline and the conditions, you said, I think it's going to be a good tournament for him.
Definitely so. And he's another one. We got to watch out for the number of drop shots, because he absolutely loves to hit that. And it's such a great tactic backing up his huge ground strokes, because he's got so much power on them that he pushes away the opponents from the baseline, and then he's making those drop shots even more successful. So definitely Matteo is going to be one of the favorites in this tournament.
He is the 7th seed. He is through to round 2, and that was one huge roar at the end of there. How delighted was he to come through and come through comfortably. Someone who did not come through comfortably, but they came through in the end, was the Australian Open champion, Sofia Kenin.
Yeah, that was a struggle out there. I mean, Samsonova played really well, especially in that second set. But I just feel like Sofia is finding a way how to deal with all the expectations and the pressure, being the Australian Open champion. And we always talked about players that the lockdown hasn't really helped much, and she had all that momentum going after Melbourne. So, you know, I think she's still finding ways how to be in this new role as an Australian Open champion. And it was interesting, her reaction after the match, where she didn't really celebrate it, almost went the other way and was kind of looking a little bit pissed out there.
Yeah, she wasn't the happiest. I think she'll be having words with her father, who is also her coach at the end of this. Remember, she was double bageled by Victoria Azarenka in Rome. So something to prove, you feel, for Sofia Kenin. But yeah, she does do a good stare, doesn't she? Unfortunately, home interest in the form of Kristina Mladenovic would end. She was 5-1 up in the first set. She would lose it, as you can see there, 7-5. But all credit to Laura Sigmund for staying focused and turning this match in her favour.
Yeah, she did such a great job to come down from 5-1 in the first set, but I just felt so bad for Kiki, obviously, having that terrible call where it was a very clear double bounce on the set point, and that's when things really turned around. And all the credit to Sigemon, because she's a great fighter. She doesn't give you anything away, and she was a little bit more aggressive at the end of the day, so she deserved to get through.
Jelena Ostapenko, the 2017 Roland-Garros champion, has picked up her first win here since she lifted the title.
That is incredible, really, Gigi. You know, something you wouldn't really expect from a former Roland-Garros champion. So it's good to see her getting that win. And obviously now working with Thomas Hofstad, I think that's going to add to her aggressiveness and confidence. So let's see how that collaboration works.
And she will face Karolina Pliskova in round 2. That's a bit of a blockbuster if Ostapenko can keep this form. And then a player that we both said we absolutely love watching in the 30th seed, Ons Jabeur.
Oh, I'm such a huge fan, Gigi, of her game. She can pretty much do everything out there. She's got a, huge ground strokes, but beautiful touch. Another one to watch out for the drop shots, because I feel like it would be actually very interesting to see Novak and Jabeur go toe-to-toe with the drop shots, because, she can make some impressive ones as well, and it's always good to see her doing well in the tournament.
So congratulations to Ons Jabeur, a fist pump. There's been some tough matches, there have been some brutal conditions, but we are setting up our second round. And don't forget, for all the results, for information, draws, you can go to Roland-Garros.com. Now we're going to head straight back to Eli, because I believe we are very shortly going to have a winner, or might have had a winner, Eli. Where are we at?
It's over. A few seconds ago, just ended. I'm going to stand up now because I can't stand up, and I don't have to whisper anymore. Andrei Rublev was down 2-0 to Sam Querrey, the man who just won in Hamburg against Steph Tsitsipas, who is also playing as we speak on the other end of this stadium, and who will go see. He was down 7-6 or 6-7, 6-7, and he came back to seal the deal 6-3 in the fifth. Right now, he is regrouping. He fell to his knees at the end of this match. You guys, I'm sure, watching the match point as we speak. What an amazing performance. You come back, you're back to back after winning a tournament. You thought maybe he was tired, but he picked it up. He got his focus back in. This is the hardest hitter probably of the whole main draw, and he is through. Gigi, you'll be very happy to the second round.
Yeah, he's an incredible effort for Rublev, being able to physically come back, not having too much in his tank after winning Hamburg. And you could just see how much that victory meant to him. And to do that against Sam Querrey, which, as Eli said, is one of the biggest hitters out there. I mean, he deserves so much credit, but I'm sure he will be feeling it in his legs tomorrow morning.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And Sloane Stephens has just come through to win 6-2, 6-2. So a clean sweep for Sloane Stephens coming through against Diachenko. Stephens, a player who has got the game for any surface. You just don't know which Sloane Stephens is going to turn up on which day.
Yeah, exactly. She's got the game for any surface and against any players. And it's impossible to predict anything with Sloane, because you just never know which one's going to turn up. Luckily enough for me, when I played her, she didn't really turn up in the match. So I was really grateful for that one opportunity. But yes, so much talent in her game, and a potential that I don't think has been really fulfilled.
Yes, but unfortunately for Diachenko, Sloane Stephens did turn up today and she got the win. Right, it's time on Live at Roland-Garros for a new feature this year. It is Eye of Daniela. What has caught your eye today?
Well, I have to say the idea came during the match Pliskova against Maya Sherif, because she's the first Egyptian to ever make it to the main draw of Roland-Garros. And, she's done her country proud, and just made me realize that, in the things that are going on in the world and all the restrictions, tennis being such a global sport, I think all the organizations, ATP, WTA, Roland-Garros, all the slams, deserve so much credit for putting these events together. When players have to travel from different parts of the world, it also goes to say, how disciplined the players, their coaches, their teams have been, and that we are here having a live tennis. It's just incredible. And we've seen so many different players from different countries. I think she was also given a wild card to play for the Olympic Games, which will now happen next year. So it just shows how strong and deep the tennis is worldwide, and how much the athletes these days can motivate young people in their countries, and really change their lives. Just like Maya Sherif with today's performance, I'm sure she would motivate many young players in Egypt to pick up rackets and believe in their dreams.
Because a lot of people said to me when the pandemic struck that tennis won't be back this year because of the global nature of the sport. The fact this is not just the first but the second Grand Slam within the pandemic is absolutely incredible.
No, it is incredible. unbelievable that this is already, what, 5th, 6th, 7th tournament we've got going on in the last couple of weeks. And exactly that was the reaction from everyone, myself as well. Well, you know, maybe other sports might have the opportunity to start earlier, but tennis, no way. I mean, with the way, you know, the players and from different countries of the world that they come from, I really didn't see any chances that happening. So really, everyone involved with the tournaments deserves so much credit.
Yeah, and here we are in Paris on day 3 of Roland-Garros 2020 as night sets in, because the weather's been a little bit hit and miss in terms of the rain, but it has been a bit warmer and it is getting warmer. Right, it is time to check in with the world of social media. Alex, you have been busy all day, keeping across all forms of social media, some I have never heard of and probably will never hear of. What has come up for you today?
Yes, thank you, Gigi. It's been another feast of tennis today, and it's been another feast on social media. I've been doing my digging. So here is a little guess who to begin with. Let's rewind to 2004 with this picture. Any guesses with the guys in the studio?
Daniela, can I hand that to you?
Oh, wow. Oh. You know what? Can that be Sofia Kenin?
Oh, that's a good shout. Alex,
Just
that's a good shout.
because she was, I think, around that time making that interview with Kim Clijsters. Remember when she had her in her, like sitting next to her and talking that one day she wants to make it to the tour. So I think just because of that, I realized that was such a cute face.
That was a really cute. She kind of looks quite similar as well.
Yeah, it does. It looks like, you know, she just got a little bit bigger and the racket looks smaller, but the rest is the same.
Right, Alex, we passed your first quiz question.
I know, bingo. That was way too easy. I need another challenge tomorrow. Far too easy. So over to court Philippe Chatrier now. And as you guys showed, Mikael Ymer's tweener was the true shot of the day so far. But you might have missed this. 2016 champion Novak Djokovic couldn't help himself crack a smile after this special piece of skill. Let's have a look. Oh, that is world #1 skills right there.
I gotta say, we do that a lot, especially in practice all the time. So I think he was laughing because he was able to do it on such a big stage. And obviously, it takes a good touch in your hands, but at the same time, it's something we do quite often. So I have to say, what Fabrice was trying to do out here last night was much more difficult.
Okay, so Alex, basically, it's beyond our skills, but not for Daniela or Novak or any other tennis player, just us.
It's definitely beyond my skills, but I won't be showing those, don't worry. Now, we know parents can be very embarrassing, and Tsitsipas's dad has taken his sport to the next level here with this customized face mask. It's not helping him right at the moment. As you've said, he's 2 sets down, but I wonder how many of those might sell in the Roland-Garros shop. We'll find out maybe. But before I hand back to Gigi, we'll just make sure you're all keeping across the latest news at rolandgarros.com, the Roland-Garros app, and you can join in the conversation on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook using the hashtag #RolandGarros. It's all yours, Gigi.
Thank you very much. I think most people would be quite embarrassed if their parents turned up with a picture of them on the face mask. That'd just be a little bit weird. Right, moving on very swiftly, but I'm sure there'll be a big seller among Tsitsipas fans. It is time here on Live at Roland-Garros for our question of the day. Is Novak Djokovic unbeatable at this year's Roland-Garros? Now, normally this is our head-to-head. It's Fabrice against Daniela. So basically, Daniela, the stage is all yours.
Well, it's a clear walkover, isn't it? I mean, if Fabrice
Whatever
doesn't show up...
Whatever the poll says, you still win, basically.
So Fabrice, that's just the message to you. But anyway, I was going with the yes, absolutely. It's something I need to back up because I said that in February. And I'm very confident that for the rest of not only this tournament, but the season, that he's going to be unbeatable. And I stand by it. Today was a good start to prove that theory. And I just feel like, especially with the movement, that Novak has been... just on another level, and confidence as well. And he's, the thing is that you can see how much he's enjoying his tennis, and really just the way he walks around the court. I just believe he's he's got all it takes to go all the way here.
And when he has goals, so the initial goal was to go undefeated for the rest of the year, and we know because of what happened to New York, that won't happen, despite the fact no one has beaten him in match play. He wants the Grand Slam record. He wants the weeks at #1 record. And you feel that when he's got those goals, that's when he's at his most dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's a very goal-driven person, but at the same time, he's able to enjoy all the process and really accept when there are tough things happening during the way on his path. And that's why I think he's made such a progress mentally as well as a person that, you know, when something bad happens to him, first of all, he's not afraid to admit it and then just move on and say, hey, we are all humans. I'm just doing what I love doing. And it's really cool to see that.
And we were able to put this question to a couple of players at today's press conference. Do they think that Novak Djokovic is unbeatable?
Of course he can. He can win the tournament. I mean, after Rafa, he's one of the favorite player to win the tournament, and then there's not too many after that. So of course he can. Maybe after French Open, maybe he would play Bercy and then London. So not too many more matches. So it's an opportunity.
He's obviously playing some great tennis, and it's showing, and he's doing a really great job. So I think, you know, the way he's playing, he's unbeatable. So yeah, I really respect him a lot, and he's someone that I really look up to.
And a lot of people that you speak to around here, whether it be journalists or former players and current players there, they're just sensing something about Novak Djokovic right now.
Yeah, definitely so. And I wish so much Fabrice would be here to try to go against this because, as you said, Gigi, I think it's not only us, but a lot of everyone involved in the tennis world that definitely there is something special about Novak this year. And we saw it already in Australia coming. So I just feel like he's going to continue on this path.
Shall we take a look at the poll? Have the people gone with you? Have they gone against you? Who wins? Let's see. You have been voting throughout. Oh, no. That's a surprise. Should we not tell Fabrice about the poll?
Well, we can, but it's a walkover because he's not here. So there was no pressure really on the results. And to me, okay, that's interesting. But I want to see what happens on Sunday of the final day. And that's what really will count, that kind of answer.
Okay, but it's a walkover. So Fabrice, if you are watching this, you're replaying this back and you're watching, I'm afraid you cannot win that question of the day because you were not here. Let's stick with the world #1, Novak Djokovic. And we had the opportunity to speak with him before the tournament began about his 2020.
I restarted a season where I stopped. A really nice experience that gave me a lot of strength, a lot of energy, a lot of motivation for Australian Open and for the rest of the season. Obviously, when you start with a perfect record in Australia, you know, the rest of the season you feel more confident. And had a good tournament in Dubai, and then of course pandemic happened, and then we all stopped for 6 months. I restarted a season where I stopped, you know, winning Cincinnati, and then obviously New York ended with disqualification. It was a shock to me and to obviously many people. I hope that something like that will not happen again. But I think it was a great lesson for me, I think. And a week later, I played in Rome, the tournament that I ended up winning, which I think it was very important and emotionally, mentally, especially after what happened in New York, to be able to win an important tournament, to kind of refresh emotionally as well. And here I am in Paris, coming in with a lot of confidence and feeling good about myself and my game.
And he put down a marker a little bit earlier, losing just 5 games to Mikael Ymer in his first match on Philippe Chatrier. Now, for a final time this evening, we're going to check in with Eli, who has covered the length and breadth of Roland-Garros this evening.
Not a problem at all. We are on court Suzanne Lenglen, and Steph Tsitsipas in some serious trouble. He is down 2-0 versus Jaume Munar. There's change of ends, but he's up a break, and it's 4-1 in the third set. These two have played once before. Very interesting. It was Next Gen Finals 2018. So they were the two hopefuls, two of the hopefuls of the circuit. One today is 101 in the world, and the other one is top 10. So they've taken different trajectories for the moment. But Hao-Min-Moon are very talented. And you know where he's from? Mallorca. Does it ring a bell?
Thank you very much. Ila, if you're staying there, enjoy the rest of that match. And you may have just seen a score going along the bottom of the screen that Shapovalov took the first set against Gilles Simon 6-2, but he's 2-5 down the Canadian in the second set. Keep an eye on Roland-Garros.com, the app or the radio channel to get full commentary results and everything else that's going on. Before we leave you this evening, we will look at tomorrow's schedule on the two main courts, starting with Philippe Chatrier, where we find Alina Svitolina. There's Svetlana Pironkova against Serena Williams. We have Rafa Nadal and Sasha Zverev. So Danielle is soon going to pick out her match of the day. She might be swayed by Wawrinka against Kopfer, who made a name for himself in Rome. Sock against Thiem. Halep back in action against Begu, or Garcia rounding things off on Susan Longlen.
I think I'm going with Serena against Pironkova because it's a battle of two mums, and that's always cool to see. So definitely that one's going to be entertaining. But I mean, it's so hard to choose from a list like that because it's going to be again another exciting day.
And hopefully we'll be with Fabrice tomorrow. We won't be Fabriceless.
Well, I don't know. I mean, should we send him flowers or something? I don't know what.
I don't think he deserves flowers.
Yeah, actually, yes. Well,
we were abandoned.
At least I got a walkover, so.
You got a walkover,
Yeah,
so that was the silver lining to the show. Daniela, once again, thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.
Don't forget, we will be with you every night from 7 o'clock. Keep an eye on everything that's going on via the official channels here at Roland-Garros, and we look forward to your company once again tomorrow. The action continues as we complete round one at Roland-Garros 2020. Bye for now.